Guys, it's not really easy to talk about Stephen King. And that's kind of weird coming from me, considering that back in 2013, back when I was in my first year of doing this channel, I actually reviewed one of Stephen King's book-to-movie adaptations. It was actually a remake of the man's most beloved novel and his most beloved film adaptation ever, Carrie. Granted, this was actually the 2013 version of the film with Chloe Grace Moretz, Julianne Moore, and Ansel Elgort. This wasn't the 1970s or 70s version that had, like, Sissy Spacek and John Travolta. No, this didn't have Brian De Palma at the helm either. And basically, I was actually more receptive to that film than most people were. Like, they basically thought that didn't live up to the iconicness of the original version. And actually, that film actually was on a deeper level with me, considering that I actually had quite a connection to what was going on in the Carrie movie. Now, I'm kind of getting off track there, but I just want to give some additional context, considering that for this film we're talking about Stephen King, one of the most legendary writers of all time, and especially a master of horror fiction, both in short stories and his full-length novels. And throughout the decades, this guy has been dropping critically acclaimed book after short story after everything, like from Carrie to It to Misery to the Dark Tower series to especially Under the Dome, which made into a TV series that didn't last. Carrie was his first novel, and when it first came out in the 1970s, people were ecstatic over it. It came a few years later with Misery, which would be his best movie adaptation. That film would be directed by Rob Reiner, and basically would have James Caan and Kathy Bates in the lead roles, and that film was one of Stephen King's favorite adaptations of his novels, probably his most favorite. The one he didn't agree with, and that people love to this day, even if they didn't at first, was The Shining. Not only was it directed by the legendary Stanley Kubrick, one of the great masters of cinema, it's also the one that basically had Jack Nicholson, and honestly, it was one adaptation that Stephen King did not really enjoy. Not at all. Moving on from this, apparently for the past decade, there's been a lot of trepidation for people who want to see a movie adaptation of his famous Dark Tower series. Apparently it tells a story about a gunslinger from another dimension who finds himself aligned with a boy who sees visions of him due to some dreams he's been having, and the two begin to take on a Luciferian type source called the Man in Black. It was basically out to get the gunslinger. Now this basically extended across a bunch of novels, and with Stephen King's ever-increasing popularity, they basically began to make these movies right away try to get these movies off the ground, but people wouldn't do it. Fast forward to today, to 2016 and 2015, and they finally got a film adaptation up the ground. Not only was it going to have Idris Elba, who has some great roles in Finding Dory and especially Zootopia, not only would he be playing the gunslinger, but it'll also have a new character named Tom Taylor, a new actor. He would be playing the role of the young boy, Jake. And for this film, they would also have Matthew McConaughey, one of the most charismatic actors of this generation, playing the Man in Black. Okay, not exactly bad. McConaughey isn't exactly the kind of film you could peg to play an actor. Like, he's not like, say, Tom Hiddleston or especially like Brad Dourif for some reason. So, I saw The Dark Tower. Well, oh boy, this is not going to be easy, guys. See, given that I don't have a lot of history with Stephen King as a whole, and that I'm not like a big book geek in terms of reading all his novels back to front, although I have read a few of them, per se. That being said, however, I get a feeling that a lot of people have been saying this is actually like a mishmash of all the Dark Tower novels rolled up into one, and apparently there's supposed to be like a trilogy on the way. And here's the thing, I don't hate this movie. It's got some issues, a lot of issues, but there are some good parts to it as well. Like, it's not a terrible novel. Like it's not going to reach the ranks of, say, Misery or The Shining or Carrie in terms of iconic status. It may not have the terrifying villain that it had, but this is kind of a low tier. But there are some good high points, like there's some good acting and such, but fans of a novel who are gonna watch this, they're gonna be disappointed for very good reasons. So let's basically start off with the things that actually make this movie good, and that, of course, is the cast. Now, as I said before, the cast of characters we have is Tom Taylor, an unknown actor, playing Jake. He's basically the kid who has visions of the gunslinger and the Man in Black, and there are points where I basically think that they kind of shoehorn him into the whole, he has visions of something, but his parents don't believe him. They think he's delusional, and I thought the little tidbit they added in about him in school and getting into a fight, that was really forced. Like, they didn't need to have that. But I really thought that it just didn't work, and after seeing his parents in that kind of role, I kind of think that that was what was kept in Stephen King's novel, but it just felt out of place. I don't know. For most of the film, actually, he was actually pretty good. Like, he had some emotion in his character, that was good. He actually had some development to him. Like, he felt like he was actually going somewhere with like, his development. And I have to say that Idris Elba does the same thing here as well. Like, Idris Elba is an actor that can, like, pretty well. Like I said, Zootopia and Finding Dory were good roles for him. I especially liked him in the Thor trilogy. I'll be seeing him in the new film coming out soon. And yeah, this guy really delivers here. This guy honestly delivers here. Like, he's got emotion. Like I said, he's a real badass. He actually has some development to him. Like he actually has a reason to go after the Man in Black, which I'll talk about in a minute. And Idris Elba, he definitely brings some gravitas, charisma, and it's a real action sense to him. So yeah, he was really good. Unfortunately, though, while I do love Matthew McConaughey for many reasons, like the guy's got real charisma. He can command the stage in any performance that he's in. And he definitely knows how to choose his roles well. Yeah, this is one film where I just didn't think he fit at all. Now, granted, you can definitely tell that he knows it's not exactly being the most intimidating. He does try to utilize his charisma to try to make up for any actual menace or subtlety or tension in his character. But yeah, as Man in Black, you definitely is someone that not only has charisma, but can pull off being intimidating and threatening. And McConaughey, he just doesn't do it. Yeah, sure, he's got the charisma that you might expect from basically for like a Luciferian type sorceress. But he does try to be devilishly charming in several scenes, but and one scene in particular where he tries to, when he confronts Jake's mom, it just, my gosh, that guy just didn't work at all. Like, even his attempts to bring humor were really forced, and unlike the gunslinger, and especially unlike Jake, the guy has no development to him. Like, we don't get any backstory to who he is, or especially why he wants to do what he does with the Dark Tower. Like, we don't get any actual backstory that other than just to cause menace. Now, granted, this could be we have to chase this back to the script and the story. Now, one of the things that kind of took me off guard was that the main screenwriter of this film was Akivia Goldsman, which never really raises a good green flag in my books, especially considering the past projects he's been attached to that I never liked. However, I can say for this film that although he wrote the first draft, he's not exactly the only screenwriter. We got like a last-minute rewrite from the director himself, and especially one from Jeff Pinkner. And wow, I've never seen a story this mismatched whatsoever. You can definitely tell that the actors trying to compensate for the fact that the story's kind of a mishmash, but we don't really see much of the plot threads kind of string together. Like, we got the gunslinger going on revenge against the Man in Black, especially, but a lot of times that it's hard to actually feel like invested along for the ride, because I don't know, it was just most forgettable. They seem more intent on setting up like some kind of universe that is to come, and we don't get much of an actual story being fleshed out. Like, we do see like Idris Elba and Tom Taylor's characters kind of like have some biting chemistry and some smolder to them, but it's just something really, I don't really see much there. Like, they kind of feel a bit out of place. There's no really real actual chemistry, and even Matthew McConaughey seems to be trying to do the best he can with what he's got, and the script doesn't really do him much favors, because I honestly think they could have just done one adaptation of each novel. That could have been better, but since it's Hollywood, yeah, doesn't happen. And last but not least, let's talk about the direction. Now, I will definitely say this: the direction, it's good. It's actually good. It's competent. The action scenes are actually pretty good. They're not going to be like very mind blowing. Like this isn't like say Kingsman: The Secret Service or Mad Max: Fury Road, or in terms of in terms of like Western type characters, or it's especially not other films like that. That being said, however, the direction is actually pretty good. Although I do wish the director could have had a tighter hand on refining the set pieces. Just my opinion. So in the end, look, guys, I don't have much to say about this, and what you get is what you got. Like, here's the thing. I do like Stephen King as a writer, and I get why this film can come out a mishmash as it is. Like, Hollywood wants to change things up, make something different, try to set up a different universe that's unique for the novels. But look, guys, I don't have to tell you. It didn't work. The story is incohesive. It's hard to follow. Some of the characters are practically unlikable. Idris Elba's okay. Tom Taylor's okay. Matthew McConaughey does the best he can, but this is a fine movie. It'll entertain some people, but in terms of Stephen King adaptations, I feel like we could have gotten a lot more. That being said, I am going to give this film a 5 out of 10. It's going to take a while for this to reach up to any of the King adaptations, but next time to do so, can you try harder, please? Thanks a lot for watching, guys. If you like what you saw, comment down below. Let me know what you think about it. Be sure to donate to my channel, and once again, I will have the Transformative special comment coming up soon. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. I never tell you guys how thankful I am. I am thankful for you guys, and I definitely have more content on the way. I'm sorry for the delay. But until then, I'm Ross. This is M&M Weekly. See you next time.